Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Speaking Nerds channel. We are absolutely thrilled to have you here with us today. I'm your host, Maya.
And I'm John. This is where we explore real English, the kind of language that helps you have genuine conversations, connect with people deeply, and express yourself the way native speakers naturally do. Not stiff textbook English, but the warm, authentic language that people use in their everyday lives.
Exactly. And if you're serious about improving your English and learning how native speakers really communicate in real situations, please support us right now by clicking that like button and subscribing to English Speaking Nerds. Your support truly makes a massive difference and helps us keep creating content that actually helps you grow.
It means the world to us. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we love reading your comments and hearing your thoughts. Now, today's topic is something everyone can relate to. We're talking about how to discuss your best moments in English.
How to talk about your best moments. This is such a valuable conversation skill because throughout our lives, we all collect these beautiful memories, moments that made us smile, laugh, cry happy tears, or feel truly alive. And being able to share these moments in English helps you connect with people on a deep, meaningful level.
Absolutely right. And talking about best moments isn't just about describing what happened. It's about capturing the feeling, the emotion, the magic of that time. These conversations build intimacy and understanding between people. They help others see who you really are.
And please stay with us until the very end, because we're going to cover how to identify your best moments, how to describe them vividly, how to explain why they matter, how to share the emotions you felt, how to ask others about their best moments, how to respond when someone shares theirs, and so much more. This is going to be incredibly useful for building deeper connections in English.
So let's dive right in. Maya, why is it important to know how to talk about your best moments in English?
That's such an important question. Talking about your best moments is important because these conversations reveal your values, your personality, and what brings you joy. When you share a best moment, you're opening a window into your soul. You're showing people what matters to you, what moves you, what makes you happy. These conversations create real, authentic connections.
Yes, and there's something I call memory storytelling that happens naturally in these conversations.
Memory storytelling. Tell everyone what that means.
Memory storytelling is the art of taking a moment from your past and bringing it to life through words. You're not just reporting facts, you're painting a picture, sharing feelings, helping someone else experience what you experienced. It's about making the past present again, even if just for a few minutes. This is how humans bond and understand each other.
That's beautifully said. And these conversations have what I call emotional authenticity.
Emotional authenticity. Explain that concept.
Emotional authenticity is when you genuinely express the real feelings connected to your best moments. You don't hide your emotions or minimize them. If something made you incredibly happy, you let that joy show in your voice and words. If something touched your heart deeply, you allow that tenderness to come through. This authenticity makes your stories powerful and helps others connect with you emotionally.
Perfect. And sharing best moments follows what I call the vulnerability principle.
The vulnerability principle. That sounds interesting.
The vulnerability principle is the idea that when you share meaningful moments, you're being vulnerable. You're trusting someone with something precious to you. This vulnerability is actually what creates closeness between people. When you share a best moment and someone responds with understanding and appreciation, a bond forms. This is why these conversations are so important for building relationships.
Excellent. And the language we use for sharing best moments has what I call descriptive emotional vocabulary.
Descriptive emotional vocabulary. Define that for our viewers.
Descriptive emotional vocabulary means all the words and phrases that help you express both what happened and how you felt. This includes feeling words like overjoyed, peaceful, excited, grateful, amazed, sensory words like bright, warm, quiet, soft, delicious, and intensity words like incredibly, absolutely, completely, totally. This vocabulary helps you make your stories vivid and emotionally real.
That's crucial. And many English learners struggle with what I call the significance gap.
The significance gap. What's that?
The significance gap is when learners can describe what happened but struggle to explain why it mattered. They might say, I went to the beach with my family, but can't express why that simple day became one of their best moments. Understanding how to bridge this gap, how to connect the event to the feeling in the meaning, is what we're teaching today.
Perfect. So let's start with the most common question that leads to these conversations. What's one of your best moments? Or what's your happiest memory?
These questions are inviting you to share something meaningful, and your answer should include what happened, when it happened, who was there, and why it matters to you.
What's a good structure for answering?
Start with a brief introduction to set the scene, then describe what happened, and finish by explaining why it's special to you. The whole answer might be 1 to 3 minutes depending on how much detail you include.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. Someone asks, what's one of your best moments? You might say, one of my best moments was when I graduated from university. It was in May 2019, and my whole family came to watch. When they called my name and I walked across that stage, I felt this incredible pride. My parents were in the audience crying happy tears because I was the first person in my family to finish university. That moment represented years of hard work and sacrifice, not just mine, but my whole family's. It's special because it was a dream coming true for all of us.
That's beautiful. It gives the context, describes the moment, and explains the deeper meaning. What are the key elements you included?
I mentioned the specific event, graduation, the timing, May 2019, the people, my whole family, the feeling, incredible pride, the visual moment, walking across the stage, the significance, first in the family, and the deeper meaning, a shared dream. That creates a complete, meaningful story.
What if someone's best moment is something simple and quiet?
Simple moments are often the most beautiful. You might say, one of my best moments was this random morning when I was about 10 years old. I woke up before everyone else in my house, came downstairs, and my mom was in the kitchen making breakfast. The sun was coming through the window, she was humming softly, and she looked up and smiled at me. I felt completely safe and loved. It was so simple, but that moment of peace and warmth stayed with me forever.
That's so touching. What if someone struggles to pick just one moment?
That's normal. You can say, oh, I have so many. One that comes to mind is, or that's hard to choose, but one of them is. You don't need to pick the absolute best. Just share one that matters to you.
Now let's talk about the different types of best moments people share. What categories do these moments usually fall under?
Great question. Common categories include achievement moments, relationship moments, adventure moments, quiet, peaceful moments, surprising moments, reunion moments, milestone moments, and simple joy moments. Let's explore each one.
Let's start with achievement moments. What are those?
Achievement moments are when you accomplished something difficult or important. You might say, getting my driver's license on the first try, publishing my first article, running my first marathon, getting accepted to my dream school, landing my first real job, finally learning to swim. These moments are about personal success.
How do you describe the feeling of achievement?
You can say, I felt so proud of myself. It was this amazing sense of accomplishment. All that hard work finally paid off. I couldn't stop smiling for days. It was proof that I could do hard things. I felt like I could do anything. These captured the emotion of achievement.
What about relationship moments?
Relationship moments are about connections with people you love. Examples, the day I met my best friend, when my partner proposed, holding my baby for the first time, when my grandmother told me she was proud of me. the last conversation I had with my grandfather before he passed, when my sister called to say she was getting married.
How do you express the emotions in relationship moments? You might say, "My heart felt so full. I was overwhelmed with love. It was pure happiness. I felt this deep connection. That moment bonded us forever. I'll never forget the look in their eyes. It was love in its purest form." These phrases capture relationship emotions. Now tell us about adventure moments. Adventure moments are exciting experiences, often involving travel or trying something new. Examples: seeing the northern lights in Iceland, my first time skydiving, backpacking through Europe with my friends, snorkeling and seeing a sea turtle up close, hiking to the top of that mountain, my first solo trip to another country. These moments are about discovery and excitement. What words describe adventure moment feelings? You can say, "I felt so alive. It was absolutely thrilling. My heart was racing with excitement. I was in complete awe. It took my breath away. I felt free and fearless. That adrenaline rush was incredible. I was speechless at the beauty." These capture adventure emotions. What about quiet, peaceful moments? Quiet, peaceful moments are calm, simple times that brought deep contentment. Examples: watching the sunset alone at the beach, reading in my favorite chair on a rainy afternoon, sitting on my porch with coffee, watching the world wake up, lying in a field looking at stars, walking through the forest with no destination. These moments are about peace and presence. How do you describe peaceful moment feelings? You might say, "I felt completely at peace. Everything was perfectly still and quiet. All my worries disappeared. I felt present and mindful. It was pure contentment. My mind was calm and clear. I felt connected to something bigger. Time seemed to stop." These express peaceful emotions. Now let's talk about surprising moments. What are those? Surprising moments are unexpected events that became treasured memories. Examples: when my friends threw me a surprise party, finding out I got the scholarship I didn't think I'd get, when my long-distance friend showed up at my door unannounced, getting a handwritten letter from someone I admired, discovering a hidden talent I didn't know I had. Surprise creates powerful memories. What language expresses surprise in these moments? You can say, "I was completely shocked. I couldn't believe it was happening. I was speechless. My jaw just dropped. I was stunned in the best way. It was so unexpected, but so perfect. I had no idea, which made it even better." These show the surprise element. What about reunion moments? Reunion moments are when you reconnect with someone after being apart. Examples: seeing my parents at the airport after a year abroad, meeting my online friend in person for the first time, reuniting with my childhood best friend after 10 years, when my brother came home from military service, seeing my grandparents after months of lockdown. These moments are about reconnection. How do you describe reunion feelings? You might say, "It felt like no time had passed at all. The hug was everything. I cried the moment I saw them. We both ran toward each other. It was pure joy and relief. All the missing them just melted away. That moment made all the distance worth it." These capture reunion emotions. Tell us about milestone moments. What are those? Milestone moments mark important life transitions. Examples: my 18th birthday, buying my first car, moving into my own apartment, getting married, my first day at university, becoming a parent, retiring after 30 years, celebrating 50 years of marriage. These mark life chapters. What phrases describe milestone moment feelings? You can say, I felt like a real adult finally. It was the beginning of something new. Everything changed in that moment. I was stepping into a new chapter. It was scary and exciting at the same time. I knew my life would never be the same. It felt like I'd reached an important destination. These express transition emotions. And finally, simple joy moments. What are those? Simple joy moments are everyday experiences that brought pure happiness. Examples: dancing in my kitchen while cooking, my dog greeting me at the door after work, laughing so hard my stomach hurt with friends, the perfect bite of my favorite food, singing in the car on a sunny day, finding money in my pocket I forgot about. These are small but wonderful. How do you talk about simple joy? You might say, it was such a small thing, but it made me so happy. These little moments are what life's about. Pure, simple joy. It's the tiny things that matter most. I was smiling for no reason except happiness. Life felt good in that moment. Sometimes the best moments are the unexpected, tiny ones. These honor simplicity. Now let's talk about the specific elements that make best moment stories powerful. What should you include? Include sensory details. What did you see, hear, smell, feel, taste? These details bring stories to life. Instead of saying, the beach was nice, say, the sand was warm under my feet, I could smell the salt water, and the sound of waves was so calming. Why are sensory details so important? Because they help the listener experience what you experienced. When you say, the coffee was hot in my hands and the steam warmed my face, I can almost feel that. Sensory details create vivid mental pictures. What other elements should you include? Include specific people and their actions. Instead of saying, I was with my family, say, my dad was telling jokes, my mom couldn't stop taking pictures, and my little sister was dancing around. Specific details about people make the story real. What about including dialogue? Yes, if someone said something memorable, share it. My grandmother looked at me and said, I always knew you'd do something special. Direct quotes make moments alive and feel immediate. Should you explain the background or context? Yes, briefly. If something was meaningful because of what came before it, share that. I'd been studying every night for 3 months, barely sleeping, so when I passed that exam, it felt like everything was worth it. Context helps people understand why the moment matters. Now, let's talk about expressing why moments matter. How do you explain significance? You can say, this moment matters because what made it special was, the reason I treasure this memory is, it's important to me because, this changed me because, I keep coming back to this moment because. These phrases introduce your explanation. What are different reasons moments can matter?
Moments can matter because they represent growth, they show love, they mark achievement, they brought unexpected joy, they taught important lessons, they connected you to others, they changed your perspective, they gave you confidence, they provided healing, or they reminded you what's important in life.
Can you give examples of expressing each of these?
Sure. For growth, that moment showed me how far I'd come. For love, it reminded me how lucky I am to have these people. For achievement, it proved to me that hard work pays off. For unexpected joy, it taught me that happiness can come from anywhere. For lessons, I learned something important about myself that day.
What about the other reasons?
For connection, that moment bonded us in a way nothing else could. For changed perspective, it made me see the world differently. For confidence, after that, I believed in myself more. For healing, that moment helped me move forward from a difficult time. For importance reminder, it showed me what really matters in life.
Now let's talk about the emotions connected to best moments. What common feelings do people express?
Common emotions include joy, gratitude, pride, peace, love, excitement, relief, wonder, accomplishment, contentment, freedom, and connection. Let's explore how to express each one.
How do you express joy?
You can say, I was filled with pure joy. Happiness just bubbled up inside me. I couldn't stop smiling. My heart felt light. I was grinning from ear to ear. Joy just radiated from me. I felt genuinely happy. No worries, just joy. These show joyful feelings.
What about gratitude?
For gratitude, I felt so thankful. Gratitude washed over me. I was overwhelmed with appreciation. I felt blessed. I was so grateful for that moment. Thankfulness filled my heart. I realized how lucky I was. These express grateful feelings.
How do you express pride?
You might say, I felt proud of myself. Pride swelled in my chest. I was so proud of what I'd accomplished. I felt this deep sense of achievement. I stood a little taller that day. It was a proud moment for me. These show proud feelings.
What about peace?
For peace, I felt completely peaceful. All the noise in my mind went quiet. I was fully present and calm. Peace settled over me. I felt serene. Everything felt right in that moment. I was at peace with everything. These express peaceful feelings.
How do you express love?
You can say, my heart was full of love. I felt this overwhelming love. Love just poured out of me. I was surrounded by love. I felt deeply loved and loving. My heart could have burst with love. It was pure, unconditional love. These show loving feelings.
Now, let's talk about asking others about their best moments. What questions do you ask?
The opening questions are, what's one of your best moments in life? What's your happiest memory? Do you have a favorite memory? What's a moment you'll never forget? Tell me about a time you felt truly happy. These invite sharing.
What are good follow-up questions?
If they mention people, who was there with you? How did they react? If they mention feelings, how did that feel? What was going through your mind? If they mention events, what happened next? How long did that feeling last? These deepen the story.
What about asking for more specific details?
You can ask, where exactly were you? What time of year was it? What did it look like? What could you hear? What were you wearing? What was the weather like? These questions help them add sensory details.
How do you show interest while someone shares?
Use active listening responses. Say, wow, that's beautiful. I can imagine that. What wonderful. That must have been amazing. I love that. That's so special. What a great memory. These show you're engaged.
What about non-verbal responses?
Smile warmly, nod encouragingly, maintain eye contact, lean in slightly, maybe put your hand on your heart if something touches you. Your body language shows you value their story.
Now let's talk about responding when someone shares a best moment. What's important?
First, acknowledge the emotion. If they shared something joyful, reflect that joy. If something was meaningful, acknowledge that significance. Match their emotional energy.
Can you give examples?
If joyful, that sounds absolutely wonderful. I'm so happy for you. If meaningful, wow, that's such a special memory. Thank you for sharing that with me. If touching, that's beautiful. I can see why that moment means so much to you. Mirror their emotional tone.
What if you've had a similar experience?
You can share briefly, but don't hijack their story. Say, that reminds me of when and share for just 30 seconds, then bring it back to them. But tell me more about yours. What happened after that? Keep focus on them.
What if you haven't had a similar experience?
That's fine. Say, I've never experienced that, but I can imagine how special it must have been. That's a unique experience. Thank you for letting me understand it. Show curiosity and appreciation.
Now, let's talk about writing about best moments. How does written and spoken differ?
In writing, you can use more descriptive language because people can read at their own pace. You might include more sensory details, more internal thoughts, more vivid descriptions. Spoken stories are often more direct and conversational.
What's a good structure for writing about a best moment? Start with a hook, something interesting to grab attention. I'll never forget the morning everything changed. Then set the scene with context and sensory details. Describe what happened in chronological order. Include dialogue if relevant. End by explaining what it meant to you.
Can you show us an example of writing style? Instead of saying, I was at the beach and saw a beautiful sunset, write, I sat on the still warm sand as the sun melted into the ocean, painting the sky in shades of orange, pink, and gold I'd never seen before. The waves whispered against the shore, and for the first time in months, I felt my shoulders relax and my breath deepen. That sunset didn't just mark the end of the day, it marked the beginning of me finding peace again.
That's so much more vivid. What makes it better?
Specific details. Still warm sand, melted into the ocean, whispered against the shore. Sensory language, visual colors, tactile warmth, auditory whispers. Internal experience, shoulders relax, breath deepen. And deeper meaning, connecting the sunset to personal peace. All these elements create a complete picture.
Now let's talk about cultural differences in sharing best moments. Do different cultures approach this differently?
Yes, some cultures are very open and emotional when sharing, while others are more reserved. Some cultures emphasize individual achievement, while others focus on family and community moments. There's no right or wrong, just differences.
How should learners navigate these differences?
Pay attention to the context. If you're in a setting where people share openly and emotionally, you can do the same. If people are more reserved, maybe share more briefly or focus on facts rather than deep emotions. Adapt to your audience.
What if your culture values humility and you're uncomfortable sharing achievements?
You can acknowledge the achievement while staying humble. Instead of, I was the best, say, I was fortunate enough to succeed. Instead of, I'm so talented, say, I worked hard and things worked out. You can be proud without boasting.
Now let me ask you something personal, John. What's one of your best moments?
I love that you're asking. One of my best moments was actually pretty recent. Last summer, I took my nephew camping for the first time. He was 7 years old, and it was just the two of us for 3 days. I'd been planning it for months, wanting to give him this experience of nature and quality time together. We hiked during the days, cooked over a campfire at night, and slept in a tent. But the moment that really stands out happened on the second night. We were lying on our backs outside the tent, looking at the stars. There were no city lights, so we could see thousands of stars. The Milky Way was so bright. My nephew was completely silent for several minutes, just staring up. Then he turned to me and said, Uncle John, I feel so small, but in a good way, like I'm part of something really big. And in that moment, I felt this overwhelming sense of purpose. I wasn't just spending time with my nephew, I was helping him see the world as magical and infinite. I was giving him a memory he'd carry forever. That moment reminded me that the best thing I can do in life is share experiences with people I love and help them see beauty. It was simple, but so profound. I still think about it all the time. What about you, Maya?
What a beautiful moment, John. Mine is very different, but equally meaningful. One of my best moments was when I published my first book 3 years ago. I'd been working on it for 4 years, writing late at night after work, sacrificing weekends, doubting myself constantly. When I finally held the physical book in my hands for the first time, I was alone in my apartment. I remember sitting on my couch, running my fingers over the cover, opening it, and seeing my words printed on real pages. I started crying, not sad tears, but tears of accomplishment and relief and disbelief. For years, this book had been just a dream, just files on my computer. Now it was real. I called my mom immediately, and she started crying too. She'd believed in me through all the years when I didn't believe in myself. That moment represented not just finishing a book, but proving to myself that I could see a big dream through to the end, despite obstacles and self-doubt. It taught me that I'm capable of more than I think. It gave me confidence I carry into everything I do now. Whenever I face something difficult, I remember that moment and think, you published a book. You can do hard things. That moment changed how I see myself. It's one of my most treasured memories.
That's incredible, Maya. See how different our best moments are? Mine was outdoors with family, yours was an individual achievement. Both are equally valid and meaningful. That's the beauty of best moments. They're unique to each person.
Exactly. And notice how we both included specific details, expressed emotions, and explained why these moments matter to us. That's what makes stories powerful and helps people really understand our experiences.
Now you have all the tools you need to share your best moments confidently in English. You know the vocabulary, the sentence structures, how to add details, how to express emotions, and how to explain significance.
So we want to hear from you right now. Tell us in the comments, what's one of your best moments? Where were you? Who was there? How did you feel? Why does it matter to you? Practice using the language we taught today.
This is your safe space to practice. Share your real moment or create a practice one. No judgment, just support and encouragement from our community.
And if this episode helped you feel more confident about sharing meaningful experiences in English, please give us a big thumbs up. It tells us you want more content like this.
Please share this video with anyone learning English who wants to improve their storytelling and conversation skills. Maybe a friend who struggles to express emotions in English, or someone who wants to connect more deeply with others.
Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. We're here every week to help you speak English naturally, confidently, and authentically.
Until next time, stay nerdy, stay curious, and remember that your stories are valuable, your experiences matter, and you have everything inside you to share them beautifully in English.
Thank you for being part of our community.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep sharing your light with the world.
We can't wait to read about your best moments in the comments.
See you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Take care. Bye.